Okay, so moving on, some more reasons why we want to analyze. And I think this first one's pretty obvious. Usually, when you're in a business situation, you will have usually your business partner, your boss will give you a hypothesis that he wants to understand. Here's some data to understand why this happened. Right? It gives you a direction. If you go to Kaggle and you start your own data analysis, you might want to maybe get started, but you want to kind of have a direction. You don't want just to analyze everything. Anything you can understand, anything, everything. You'll never finish, right? I used to start like that, and it's too much. Especially with Python, we have the ability to go so deep that we need to really limit ourselves and only understand what really pertains to this problem. So we want to validate hypotheses and theories. We come up with a theory. We have a theory, provided to us from our business partners, and we want to use that as a direction to run. Right? All of our analysis is going to be geared towards supporting that or understanding that problem or situation. You want to detect anomalies. And I think that makes sense, right? You want to detect things that are anomalous that could create potential risks. If you have, maybe you had a lot of business money, maybe you're selling bread or something like that. You sold a lot, you had a lot of customers, you sold all your bread today. Now you have no more yeast to make bread, right? You ran out of your supply because you didn't properly plan. Now you have to spend a lot of money getting that supply in, and you end up not making any extra money, right? You had a really good day, but you lost out on that. You didn't make any extra money from it because you were not prepared for that anomaly. So identifying anomalies, good or bad, is really important to better prepare ourselves for those situations. We want to go a little step further, though. We also want to understand why. What's the reason behind this anomaly that we want to make? Better understand, if we can understand why we had a low business, we can better understand why that's going to happen the next time and better prepare ourselves ahead of time. Okay, it's really important to understand why this anomaly, if we can understand why this anomaly happened. What we want to do as well is evaluate strategies. We talked a lot about all of our data analysis stuff. We come up with a good strategy. We put it into place at this point, and we want to understand why this happened, right? We want to understand how well we did. Did we move forward? Did we move in the right direction? So come away as A/B testing. If you have a website, this page or this page converted more people, right? And so we want to analyze that, compare that, and see really if we are seeing a difference, a substantial enough difference to say it's not just random chance, right? Are we sure that this new page is working better than the old one? We want to go a little step further than that, though. So just understanding the here and now, kind of like the A/B testing, understanding this decision is really important. But we want to think of the longer term strategy of our business, right? We have many steps to get to this goal, and we make one decision, we have one step forward, but we had a bad product, we made a lot of money on it, but our customers don't want to come back because the product didn't really work very well. It was very cheap for us to make. It was not very good quality, right? So now our customers don't want to come back. So although we moved forward, one step, we moved kind of long-term strategy. We're moving in the wrong direction. We moved away from our long-term strategy. Now we've hurt our long-term goal of being a successful business, having repeat customers. We want to evaluate our strategy here and now. We also want to evaluate our strategy in terms of our long-term strategy. And so what we have here is something weird. I used to ask students to provide me with something weird. I felt a little bit pressure to ask them for something, and in this situation as well. I can't hear what you're saying. When I'm making these images, the mnemonics for these classes, sometimes Midjourney just goes a little bit crazy and gives you some weird things. And this is one of the ones that I got by accident during this class. And so it's a rabbit wearing a spacesuit, and that's pretty weird. So right, if we wanted to understand anything really weird, anything that's different, right? Well, where do we start? Right? Where do we start with that? Well, we'd say, okay, why is this rabbit wearing a spacesuit? We come up with theory. I think he's going to fly to the moon, right? Okay, well, so, yeah, that's my first thought, right? I'm then going to direct my analysis to looking around for, is there a spaceship, right? Okay. We'd also want to understand anomalies. We want to ask her the reason why this is happening. We're seeing a rabbit in a spacesuit. That's pretty gosh darn weird, I would say. We want to ask why is it happening? Right? Is there a reason for this happening? Maybe it's a talking rabbit. Maybe we could better prepare. Maybe we should have a rabbit catcher and we could go sell him on the black market or something, right? If we're ready for those situations, right? Or maybe we want to borrow a space because I'd like to go to the to, and maybe if you could take me there. Um, we really want to understand why why these things are happening, why we're seeing these things. Okay, and so as you know, when we're seeing this rabbit in that spacesuit, and you know if he's going to fly to the moon or not, we have our theory, and maybe he is, maybe that is his goal, right? His long-term goal is to fly to the moon, and so we're going to evaluate his strategy. Okay, we see a rabbit wearing a spacesuit, that's great, and does that move him towards his long-term goal, right? Yeah, wearing a spacesuit is good. You're one step closer to to getting to the moon. But as we look around, there's no spaceship anywhere. And so kind of doing things out of order, but you gotta, get your spaceship first. You gotta figure out how to get there and then put on your spacesuit, right? So it's kind of not really thinking of the long-term strategy. You put on a spacesuit, you're gonna wear that for a couple 100 years while he saves up the money to get a spaceship. And so he's not really thinking, he's not really moving himself in the right direction. He should be going, looking for a job, putting on that spacesuit. I don't know who's going to hire a spacesuit, but probably not going to help him in that sense either. So we really want to be evaluating our strategy kind of the here and now and the